All right, next up, we've got Coastal Carolina and Georgia State, also a Thursday night college football affair down in the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt's been the fun belt this year. There's been some really good football being played by a lot of these Sun Belt teams. Coastal Carolina, 2.5, 3-point road favorite, 63.5 the total. I mean, we're at the point now where the Sun Belt, to me, is ahead of the MAC, and it's ahead of the Conference USA in terms of college football conference hierarchy. I think the quality of football being played in the Sun Belt keeps getting better, whereas in some of those other conferences, it keeps getting worse. So I've been impressed with so many Sun Belt teams this year. Coastal Carolina has been a terrific team the last couple of years. This year, they've had some ups and downs. And look, it was a rough first half for them against Buffalo last Saturday, but they put it together big time in the fourth quarter. It was like a light switch flipped. They were down 19-17. They end up coming back to win 38-26, and that offense with Grayson McCall really started to finally get things going. C.J. Beasley on the ground, adding 89 yards rushing. Sam Pinckney, very good day catching the ball for the passing game for Coastal. I did cash the ticket with Buffalo, though, plus the points, and they just hung on to stay inside the number in that game. So now they go on the road, short week here, against a Georgia State team that, I'll be honest, Got to talk about the losses, too. I laid 20 with Georgia State against Charlotte, and I know Chris Reynolds was back for Charlotte, and obviously that was a huge boost to their offense. But you can't be losing to Charlotte. You can't. You can't be giving up 42 points like that if you're Georgia State. It was an absolutely horrible, horrible loss. Now, they did outgain Charlotte in the game, so, a little fortuitous that, Charlotte took advantage of some mistakes. And a -2 turnover margin for Georgia State kind of hurt them in that football game as well. Actually, a -1 turnover margin. But, they made some mistakes at the end of the day, and the defense was just gashed by that Charlotte passing attack. And 42-41 loss. And now that's 3 games where Georgia State defense that was supposed to be pretty good has kind of struggled a little bit. We know Coastal Carolina is a team that I think offensively they've shown signs of getting it going this year, despite losing some personnel from last year. They did put up 38 against Buffalo and against Army. Georgia State struggling on that side of the ball. This is one where I could see some points. I haven't bet anything yet here, but total 63.5. The one concern is Coastal's not going to play fast, and probably neither is Georgia State really, but you got 2 defenses that are really leaking at the moment. So I could see this one being back and forth and getting maybe into the mid to high 60s. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, let's talk about the total. Maybe this is just a bit too high here at 63.5 because you talk about their slow pace of play. But both teams have been efficient offensively. Coastal doesn't bring back that defense. It's taken some time. I mean, they even let Buffalo score 26. They got the offense going. In Georgia State, though, they've been able to score. The defense just got hammered. They got 0 points in the fourth quarter against North Carolina. They covered that number because we had 7 in the hook. And then last week, you just talked about it. They gave up 42 to Charlotte, lose by 1. And just didn't do much in the fourth quarter, I thought, there. And you talked about the turnovers they lost. Granger's been really, really good. I think this is back and forth. But, when we start to get almost to the mid-60s, can this just get over? Can this be 38-35? Sure. So I think the total's spot on. I lean over. I think there's going to be points in this game. And I'm going to go with Georgia State. I think Coastal now, going on the road, this is going to be difficult. If I get a 3, I'll take it. If not, I think money line. They're desperately need for a win, and I don't think they're as bad as they're obviously over to start the year, Georgia State.
They are better than what we saw against Charlotte. That was not a good performance, but this was supposed to be a top 3 or 4 team in this conference this year on paper, Georgia State. We'll see if they can rebound. That was a hideous loss against Charlotte. We'll see if they've got a better performance in them. It's a home game. I believe it'll be a primetime game. You usually get these Sun Belt Thursday night home games in primetime on national TV as well. So a rare showcase event. That's usually a good thing for the home team.